Another day, another company trying very hard to replace software engineers. Stripe recently tweeted that their 1300 Stripe pull request is merged each week are completely minion produced. If you don't know what is minion, so it's their AI agents. They are calling it with a cute name. They're also saying it's human reviewed, but now it's raising a lot of concerns since it's a payment handling platform and it cannot account for any error. Across the industry, agentic coding has gone from new and exciting to table stakes and underlying models. So this is the same line as all AI companies doing. Minions are Stripe's homegrown coding agents. They are fully attended and built to one short task. Over the 1,000 pull requests merged each week at Stripe are completely minion produced, and while they are human reviewed, they contain no human written code. Okay, this is very interesting line that they are human reviewed and contain no human written code, because what exactly you mean by human reviewed? Because like thousands of PR is being merged, and how efficiently engineers can review all of them. Maybe it's they are like just skimming over it, or maybe they're just using AI to review another AI generated code. Our developers can still plan and collaborate with agents such as Claude and Cursor, but in the world where one of the most constrained resource is developer attention, unattended agents allow for parallelization of tasks. We frequently see engineers spinning up and multiple minions in parallel to enable them to parallelize the completion of many different tasks that can particularly helpful during an on-call rotation to effectively resolve. Oh god, they have so much corporate lingo in this blog. Now, why did they build? Vibe coding as a prototype from scratch is fundamentally different from contributing code to Stripe's codebase. Stripe codebase encompasses hundreds of millions of lines of code across a few large repositories. Most of our backend is written in Ruby, not Rails, with score-bit typing and relatively uncommon stack. Throughout our code uses a vast number of homegrown libraries that are used to unique to Stripe. LM agents are incredibly good at building software from scratch where they can relatively few constraints on a system. However, iterating on any code base on the scale, complexity and maturity of the Stripes is inherently much harder. Human must build sophisticated mental models to make effective changes in our repo. Okay, I have a very interesting Twitter thread where this person is asking a very genuine question. The user asks like all those PRs are in this main repository or some internal tools or testing environment, where the Grok replies based on Stripe's blog, they are actually in the main repository. This person asks like, can you contrast it to the time last year how many PRs were being pushed weekly and right now? Stripe merged like thousands of PR per day, which is like 8,000 PR weekly with like 3,000 engineers contributing per reports from 2025. Now minions produce 1,300 merged PR weekly. This is a very interesting thing that 8,000 weekly PR were merged now that it's minion produced, and rest of the PR are still uncountable, so we have to wait for the official data. What is like to use minions? There are several different entry points for minion design to integrate as while they provide CLI and web interface for initiating minions, engineers will most frequently start one from Slack by tagging our Slack engineers as a kickoff minion directly into the thread discussing a change. Yep, you can see these are the screenshot where the developer saying repo pay server I'm working in library slash toolshed code, where those front-end live in front-end toolshed inspector. The process of managing Google credentials is kind of annoying. Take a look at that. Yep, this is basically a prompt which is a little bit detailed. How do minions work? There are many stages to minions, and in the second part of this mini series we will have more details how minion work. So yeah, they have actually two blocks. A minion run starts is an isolated developer environment or dev box, which are same type of machine that Stripe engineers are write code on. This looks like also a AI generated blog post. DevBox are pre-warmed, so no one can spin up in 10 seconds with Stripe code, and services are preload. They are isolated from production resource with the internet, so we can run minions on DevBoxes without human permission. This also gives parallelization without the overhead of some Git work trees which wouldn't scale at Stripe. In general, minion read the same coding agent first rule with that human operated tools such as Cursor, Claude Code do, consuming several different agent rule file format. However, it would be impractical for Stripe to have many unconditional rules, so almost all agents rule at Stripe conditionally applied based on subdirectories. Minions are connected to MCP, which provides a common language for network lab LLM function calling. This is how they gather context like internal documentation, ticket details, build status, code intelligence via source graph search, and more. Minions are built with the goal of one-shotting their task, but if they don't do, then it's the key to give agents feedback. It via several automated layers of tests that minions can iterate against. The first line of defense is an automated local executable, which the local testing doesn't catch anything. CL selectively runs tests on Stripe's battery of tests. There are over 3 of million of them. CL runs out of tokens, compute, and time. We only have the most of the 2 rounds of CL if test fails after an initial push. In short, minions are set up with the same tools we give human engineers and necessary context to follow Stripe's best practice in the code they write, and engineers can do invoke them. And this is their second blog post where they talk about this minion AI agent thing in a very detailed way, the blueprints, the agent with proper graphs. So if you want to read this, I'll link in the description. But since it's too much, I would just say in conclusion that minions are just one way that Stripe is using AI to accelerate our engineers, but we think they are a great example of how we are able to blend industry standard concepts such as agent harness and MCP with our own mix of internal tooling and infrastructure that our engineers have relentlessly turned over the years to maximize developer productivity. All right, this is so corporate lingo, guys. I have to say that this blog is pretty much well written. I feel it's very much AI written blog, but that's okay. As long as they are doing good, that's fine. But again, people are generally very concerned that as such a large payment handling company using high level of AI agents, and they can actually make mistakes, by the way. They're not prone to accuracy of 100%. So yeah, maybe this is why people are now actually a little bit scared. And now, there are people are actually moving to different platform. So there's one platform called Aiden. Of course, no sponsorship. Someone in the comment section mentioned it, say they are not vibe coding. They're also pretty reliable tool for payment. You can try out also Lemon Squeezy, by the way, is also Stripe owned. So yeah, it makes no sense at all. But yeah, there's a new trend emerging right now where almost all AI companies using very much AI agents to try to make developers more productive or kick them out of office. One thing you can do, by the way, which AI agents cannot do, just follow me on Twitter. We make a lot of fun tweets.